When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you.
Rise up, sons of the Horde! Blood and glory await us! Luntargar for the Horde!
Straight down. Clear sky.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I am still thoroughly happy that I got this pretzelrocks.com. Pretzel Rocks. And I do enjoy seeing it pop up saying what the next song is and everything. It's pretty cool. The only thing I gotta do, I gotta figure this thing out. I want to make it a little bit like, what the hell is the thing for the volume? If I do, I gotta do that way. Well, do you then? Anyways, that should be good enough on polygram. Oh, when you want to get over darkest ground. Well, here I am. Let's get ready to multi-stream. Oh. I don't know who the hell I'm multi-streaming to, but doing it to someone, somewhere. I guess. Actually, let me look at myself. Oh. Doesn't look horrible, right? Actually, let me go to... look my other setup real quick. Oh, alright. Let me share with how ugly I am. Hey, look at that! Look at how ugly I am. I'm gonna check myself out in the other place. Oh shit, what was all that? Doesn't look horrible, right? Oh, look at that. Oh, was there slight delay? Of course. It'll be alright. I don't care for that much slight delay. It's actually not that bad though. Alright, let me do some shit. Let me do some shit. I'm gonna get on my Facebook. I'm gonna look at something right quick. Just right quick. Right quick. Let's see. Alright, so I popped up my chats. I got chats. Look at that. I can do double chat. Holy shit. This is... no fucking shit. Yeah, I can do that. Check that out. Oh, look at this. Little post on my brother here. Big on congratulating people because this life isn't easy at all. I hope we all win. You know what? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like we all just got like we always have our own trials and tribulations and stuff like that. You know? Oh snap! That's my boy Steve Blum. Oh hey, I'm doing a live autograph signing through Streaming? April 3rd. Oh. So I guess it's at Streamly.live on Sunday, April 3rd. Check out the link in the bio. And for more info, and join us for the fun. Steve Blum. Love Steve Blum. Great dude. Great type of mentor if anybody wants to do the live, do some voice acting, which eventually I would like to get in contact with him and get some stuff going. But I would love to hang out with him too. Like, it'd be so cool if he can manage to come down to MegaCon over here in Orlando, Florida. May 19th through the 22nd. I'm going to be there as Professor Xavier. I already got my chair. That's another thing I got to get. Damn it. I got to get my buddy to help me out with this chair. I got to get a new battery for the chair. I damn sure need that. And then I'm going to try to see if I can spice it up a little bit with some yellow accents. Just to give the hint of the yellow chair, but then I gotta do what I can to try to get Lord knows what materials I'm gonna try to end up with, but I'm gonna try to recreate and build. Actually, let me just show the idea, that way if there's anyone out there that doesn't know what in the actual hell am I talking about. Here we go. That right there. This right here, let me blow it up a little bit. See this right here? This is the chair that I would love to do right there. Oh shit. What the fuck is that? My God, you go from chin to chest. Boy, you look like you got nuts for a I don't know what the hell that was, but whatever. That's funny. It's funny though. Look at what. It's kind of funny. Let's see. Actually, So yeah, that's pretty much what I want to do, because it's like, for the most part, having Professor Xavier here. Let me go back. I mean, having this Professor Xavier chair. Like I said, I don't know what kind of materials I'll be using, but I'll just model different things and put it around the chair that I possess. Like, I know this front piece that slopes down, I'm going to try to engineer that in a way where it's just literally like a door that just opens up. That way I can get in and out, especially for going to the bathroom purposes. But shit, to think I'm there, I'm getting there. Like, I'm assuming I'm halfway there. If I had to pin like my progress, I guess. Yeah, I'm like halfway there. Alright, Steve Blum. I remember when Zeb here from Star Wars Rebels, like when I started seeing Star Wars Rebels and I heard that character, I was like, that's gotta be Steve. It was one of those things, like the second I heard that sucker, I'm like, dude, that's gotta be Steve. What was that saying? There was their way of saying technically the F word. Damn, I forgot that. Anyways, but yeah, Steve Blum. It'd be really cool to get to hang out with that man. If money and material things make you believe that you are better than others, then you are the poorest person on earth. Oh my god, look how pretty their children. My buddy Juan's kid. So pretty. Alright, let me see here. What is this? Oh, no, I'm not checking that out. Whatever. Whoa. What the hell is this? Build my burgers. Create your own masterpiece. Jesus Christ. Okay, now, don't get me wrong, I definitely would love to try that out. Jesus. I'm gonna lower this down just a little bit. I tell you what, though, that right there, that's wild. So we got, let's see. So we got the buns, of course. So you got, looks like 2 patties, and then red pepper, some cheese. Looks like there's bacon involved. But if I'm not mistaken, those are slices of pineapple. Oh, shit. Then we got 2 onion rings, lettuce, and tomato. Yeah, that looks good. I definitely wouldn't mind trying something like that out. What in the hell is that? Is that Nutella from hell? Nutella and chocolate, all this chocolate? Look at this. What? Yeah, this is insane. So this is Build My Burgers in Orlando, Florida. I guess anybody in Orlando, Florida, their burgers and some different kind of shakes. Look at this thing. What? It's got the zebra pastries on there. Looks like there's a donut. Looks like there's the sour freaking worms on a what is that? Your skewer. You got the Fruit Loops coming around this glass here. What? This is insane. I would totally try that. I know my fat ass definitely wouldn't resist it, that's for sure. What are these little muffins with a little drizzle? Oh, look at that. Okay, I don't know what type of pastry this is, but it's definitely going to be something I'll eat. And that burger, that's wild. Let me see, where's these guys at? Exactly. Let's check it out. So, Build My Burgers, huh? Okay. They're at 3402 Technological Ave, Suite 136, Orlando, Florida 32817. Yeah, not gonna lie, definitely wouldn't mind trying that out. But it says, we are closed tonight due to the short staff. I apologize. We will be open at normal hours tomorrow. Thank you. Oh, that must have been today. Oh, poor bastards. Everybody's got a freaking problem these days. But yeah, this is pretty cool. Let's see. Let's check out their photos. See what other goodies they have. So we got some wings. You can't have a good place without some wings, I guess, right? Some wings. Then we got a burger and fries. So that's a basic burger and fries. Okay. So these look interesting. I wonder what kind of pastry this is with the little drizzle there. I would love to try those out. And then that's like a burger wrap. So that's pretty good. Yeah. What in tarnations? Delicious burgers don't have to be expensive. So it says all toppings are free, so you can customize your perfect burger. Fresh cooked to order starting at $5.49. That's not bad. $5.49, and then you can throw whatever you want on it. That's kind of cool. Oh, shit. So a burger salad. Okay. I see you got the spinach going in there and whatnot. Yeah, I would do that. Spinach salad. Looks delish. Oh, look at Happy New Year thing. Ooh. What's this? Is that egg? Is that an egg on top, right? That looks delish. That looks really good. It looks like I need to visit this place. And anybody else in the Orlando area? This looks like it's cool. Oh, Is this what I think it is? Is this really a donut burger? Are you serious? Oh my god. I've heard of these. I don't know if anybody out there freaking... Honestly, so the more I think about it, the more I'm like, really? But then it's like, you know, I'm open to try anything once. I'm not gonna lie. I'm always open to at least trying something once. And the sweet and savory type of idea that it is a glazed donut. I don't know. I mean, is there anyone out there that's tried it? I mean, I'm wondering if there's someone that could drop in the comments or something like that later on in the videos. Like, I mean, is it worth it? Or is it one of those, like, how do you say it? Like, guilty pleasure kind of thing? Or like, but at least try it once kind of situation? Should I at least try it once? I don't know. That's insane. But yeah. So let me double check here. So, where was this at again? This was at. Let's see, so everybody can see this. So you got your buildmyburgers.com. Actually, let's go visit that website real quick. Oh, the graphics look lovely. All right, let me see here. Excuse me. Oh, we got the contact. There it is. So it is only in one place. Okay. So that's the address right there. So again, this is the address. Let me zoom in this address here so y'all can see it. Y'all can see it. That's the address right there. Here's their logo. Build My Burgers, the BMB. So yeah, 3402 Technological Ave. I've never heard of that spot. It sounds cool as shit, though. It sounds really cool. Anyways, yeah. Anybody nearby that want to try them out, there you go. Here I am doing some free publicity to them. So anyways, I mean, I definitely would love to try that out. I mean, that one burger right there would probably be the one I would want to try. And then that shake, like, that just looks delicious. I'm sorry, it looks fucking fantastic. Yo, stop talking about me. Anime openings. I don't know that language. My dumbass pretending to know the lyrics. Oh, that's great. I love blocking folks. You not finna stretch me out on my cellular device. You ain't lying. Oh shit, is this Lil Jon?
When the wedding guests are lame, but the catering crew eat.
Oh shit, break it, girl. Ah. Oh, TikTok, how you are just insane. Myself and my friend need diff. Swing, swear, look for ball, repeat. That's actually pretty funny. That's pretty funny. What do we got here? Some sweepstakes for a video game. Oh, some artwork. Oh, check this out. So I follow these individuals here that from Deadly Reapers, and sometimes they put up some great artwork. In this case, holy shit! Wait a minute. They just added 265 new photos to their album of DBZ. Shit. Let's take a look here. Holy shit. That's some good quality. Like this one right here. This is some really nice quality. I mean, that is a beautiful setup. What the hell? Oh, I see what that is over there. I'm not gonna show that. But this is great. Damn, that looks good. So yeah, I guess this is good for those DBZ fans. I mean, fuck. I'm the Prince of all Saiyans. Oh, Vegeta. What a character that is. It's wild. What the hey? So I'm melting. Or is he just getting back together again? That is wicked. Alright. See, I gotta admit, like, something like that, like, with Trunks, that looks pretty cool, man. That is some cool artwork. So this is by, so the artwork is by deviantart.com/Longia. Or Longia? Longai? Longai? LONGAI. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Anybody want to give them some support on their artwork? Holy crap! Look at that. She looks badass. That is one built thick. Wow, look at the detail on that. See, it's artwork like this, right? That puts me in a position where I'm like, dude, you can easily do like a great live action setup of Dragon Ball, of all these different types of characters. Like, give them the respect like this, get the quality going. And I think like this Boris, I mean, he looks freaking awesome. Like, imagine that on the big screen in the right way. Like, Jesus. Oh, look at this little mashup. Vegeta, why so serious? Kakarot. Oh. Imagine that. A Majin Buu Vegeta Joker. That's wild. That's pretty cool. Let's see what else we got. These are pretty good. These are pretty good. That one's pretty good. What the hell's going on here? Oh, is that what I think it is? Is that Cell trying to suck up Andrew? I just saw a comment. It looks great. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Imagine that form. Like, it's full control of the 8 form. Like, that would be full 100% control. Like, that'd be badass. Now I think about it. That'd be a lot of control for that crazy shit. Alright. Let's see what else we got going. Okay, this looks good. That looks cool. See, this, I don't know. This artwork does it great. I'm not gonna lie. Of course. Oh, check this out. Give it a better, like, a little more of a realism to the face. That's kind of cool. See, that'd be so cool, man. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying, hey, you know, I'm wild about DBZ. I'm not wild about Dragon Ball. I grew up around it. I didn't grow up with it, in a sense. Holy shit. Death by Snoo. Right. Yeah. But what I would love to see, like a real good, respectable live adaptation. Yes. Like, I really think this is, I think, like, there was only one film, right? So far, there was only one thing where they gave it a try, which I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't mind revisiting that Dragon Ball movie just to see how it went again. I think I only saw it once, that's why I don't remember jack shit about it. But think about it. You give this a good, solid, respected adaptation with today's technology. I mean, come on. This would be so badass. And the thing is, you know, I had said the big screen, but at the same time, you know, the way Hollywood is and everything, I'm like, nah. How about we just do it like on Netflix and something like that, where, you know, the creativity on being able to focus on things the right way, you know, and then not necessarily a movie. I mean, it could be a short serialized setup. You know, I think that'd be freaking awesome, which in most cases, I think, especially something like this, I think this will lend itself very nicely to a serialized setup. I mean, obviously cut out the whole and the breathing and the heavy and the screaming, and then eventually they fight. No. Kind of trim that down a little bit, of course. Like, that was a day a friend of mine showed me a version of Dragon Ball where, but I think it was more Dragon Ball Z, where someone went and just trimmed out a lot of the excess bull and summed it up to a better, you know, condensed it to a better layout. And it was like, yo, that was a really good way to consume it, if you ask me. It was great. Oh, look at this. Just 3 evil bastards on one spot. I think this is pretty good. Like, that's a pretty face. Like, this is good. Like, anybody that likes that face, there you go. Like, that character, that looks good. Somebody treated that with respect, you know? Some of these, see, like this. Imagine Cell. Like, dude. What? That'd be pretty freaking awesome. I don't give a damn what you say. What time? Damn, what time? What the hell? Who in tarnations? Oh, god damn it. Why do I fucking... Are you serious? Why? How would you do that? Why? Okay, so let me bring that. Let's see here. Anywho. God, this is a lot of photographs. This is a lot of different artwork, a lot of different variations of everything. Obviously, this looks like spot on to the animated show, obviously. But then you got something like this. That looks pretty cool. I think that's really cool. That looks pretty. That looks pretty awesome. Let's see. What the hell? We are the protectors of Earth. And they say, bitch, please. It's funny. Anyways, enough of all that. This is a great layout. But yeah, if anybody want to follow them, it's Deadly Reapers when it comes to that. Oh shit! Is that Joe Rogan? What's the hell? What's this? Let me see here. I have spent an exacerbant amount of time recently thinking about the unusual relationship people in Florida have with giant alligators. I wonder if the fact that these fucking things are all over the place actually contributes to the usually chaotic characters who we see constantly in the news from that state. Hey, we're talking about my state. Nah, well, it ain't my state. I mean, I live in it, but it ain't my state. I don't think it's the only factor, but I think it's got a significant impact. When you get up to go to school and there's a fucking 14-foot long dinosaur in your driveway, it changes the way you think about things, especially if no one outside of Florida can relate. Isn't that something? Imagine that. Like, yeah, like, that reminds me of a day actually where, like, my good buddy that was living with me at one point in time, I really had this urge to fuck with him. So he was passed the fuck out. He was sleeping. He was passed the fuck out. And outside in front of the house was like a little small baby alligator. And I was thinking of just gently getting it, securing the mouth just in case, you know, that way it won't bite. And then just putting him in my buddy's bed and see what happens. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, that sounds like an asshole move, but fuck, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, this freaking gator right here, Jesus fucking Christ. So this one here, massive gator caught on camera at Circle B Park. Gator estimated to be 13 to 15 foot long.
An alligator probably bigger than you've ever seen crossing a trail in a Polk County park.
Yeah,
Really is an unbelievable sight, isn't it? ABC Action News reporter Ryan Ray.
Let me see something real quick. Can I bring that up? No, I couldn't do that. It won't let me do it. Oh well. Let's blow it up anyways.
Caught up with the brave hikers who captured this big guy in action and explains the backstory of this monster gator.
It's the video that lit up the internet today. An alligator nearly as long as an SUV sauntering.
Look at that thing. Look at those people back there. Like, this sucker's literally up to almost up to the waistline of a human being on just the height of the back of this creature. It's insane. Hold on, let me pause the music so we can hear this better. So, holy shit, look at this.
From one marsh to another and stunning onlookers nearby.
It was just awe-inspiring.
Christy Buckley was just wrapping up a morning hike with her husband Sean when the gator started to move.
Dude, what the hell? They're down there taking real good
them
shots.
right there lying on the ground, capturing these still pictures from the other angle. And yes, he's just as big from that side.
Look at that thing. He's got some moss on him. That big boy right there. Been around. He's been around.
Too.
So my husband and I are calling him Godzilla because that's kind of what he looked like going across the path, yes.
Crossing so slowly, his feet flopping with every step, and that tail dragging long behind.
He's so prehistoric looking. He's amazing.
I mean, that ain't a lie, though. That is literally one of the ways you can just get that feel for the idea of, hey, this is what, like, looking at dinosaurs what were back in the day. I mean, this is a living, breathing, current dinosaur, because these type of creatures have been around for so long. I mean, we're thinking about like this, tortoises. Yeah, different types of tortoises have been around for a long time. Like those are all, to me, in my eyes, still modern day dinosaurs. Like, it's insane. It's wild.
Before you start calling this a fake, talk to the regulars at Circle B. The estimated 13 to 15-foot gator even has a name, and it's been around here for decades.
The big humpback is what everybody's calling him. His back is a little bit higher up than normal.
So check this out. Normally Circle B is a pretty quiet park. Not today. Everyone's heard about that gator and are actually making up their own parking spot just to get a peek.
We live nearby and we come out here, but we came out today because of that.
That's amazing, isn't it? Oh my God. To think about such a big creature like that. Jesus Christ. What kind of comments? Always calls it like it is. I respect this man. Let's see. So someone says, I grew up in Florida, used to catch baby gators with a fishing pole. I'd always attribute Florida man syndrome to the lack of seasons and big diverse population. They got gators from South Carolina to Texas. Okay. Yeah, I mean, let me see here. We invaded their domain. Now we have to respect it, especially now so many from Cali and New York and other soft states coming here. They will want to be them. They would want them removed. But the funny thing is, we agree. What? We agree with the gators and want these people removed. Oh, oh boy. All right. Anyway, so what we got going here? Oh, Blizzard. So I follow Wowhead, which is like wowhead.com. They got a lot of stuff when it comes to World of Warcraft, and Blizzard. You know, just I think they do promote a lot of other stuff from the Blizzard entertainment. So it's not just World of Warcraft. I know for me, I really only care about World of Warcraft. I mean, there are those individuals that love Diablo, and more power to you. Hey, if you like it, there you go. In this case, it says Blizzard has sent out a community survey asking users about Wrath of the Lich King Classic and faction balance for Classic Realms. I was wondering when that was going to come around. Because I feel like the way the whole classic thing's been going, I definitely see it going in the direction of Wrath of the Lich King. Primarily, I think it's because of the success and the type of draw that Wrath of the Lich King had. I mean, the Lich King was like such a draw. I mean, anybody that liked, you know, the Warcraft games, stuff like that. Like, I didn't grow up with the Warcraft games. I got into this franchise technically by a friend of mine. And we just happened, like, well, it was one of those situations where I was working with him. I met with him. We hung out. We clicked. We were cool. Down the line, he just invited me over to his house, and he showed me, hey, I got this game. The way the story went was pretty interesting. The way I remember it was he was sitting there. He wanted to show me the game, and then he's like, so my girlfriend got me this game, right? His girlfriend at the time got him this game as a gift, and he was like, because she knew I liked this franchise, which was called Warcraft. And I had, you know, the first and the second and the third. He showed me the boxes. He's like, these are the boxes. This is what they are. This is what it looks like. And so this one came out, and she's like, this one's called World of Warcraft. And I'm like, okay. And he's sitting there. He's explaining how he was making it. He made the character and everything. But as he's doing everything, it's like he didn't understand why he needed internet connection. He didn't really understand why he needed to pick a server. Like, he didn't catch on to any of this. So he makes the character. He gets in there. And he said he started playing, and eventually there was something he came across, like an NPC, which he thought was an NPC, started communicating to the NPC, and the NPC communicating back, like the little chat bubble that pops above the head of the character. And he's like, holy shit, what the hell? This AI is pretty intelligent. Unbeknownst to him, it took him a bit, but he finally realized that he was talking to an actual player. And he's like, now this whole internet thing makes sense. Now having the internet makes sense. And I said, oh, okay. So then he showed me some more of the game, and then it just caught on because I was already at the stage where at that time I was already finishing up some stuff with my God of War, which was a franchise I really enjoyed off of PlayStation. And I was already starting to... The replayability of my Gran Turismo 5 of the time was starting to get a little stale, I guess. I don't know. Things weren't the way I wanted it when it came to console gaming. Like I was just... I don't know. It felt like shit was getting old. And so eventually I'm sitting there like, I want something different. I've been wanting something different. So when he showed me that game, that was the different I wanted. That was something I wanted to where I can get on and always have something to do. I can get on and always have something new. Yeah, in some cases it might take certain individuals where they want the here and now and, hey, why are you taking so long to give me my new shit? But with me, it's like, I'm such the casual in the sense of the way I do things. I'm not pushing the envelope on when I get something, how I get something, going out and hunting for something. I just play. And so throughout everything that came out from those early times, yeah, the Burning Crusade was fun as an expansion. All the time I spent there was fun. But once that Wrath of the Lich King came around, everybody was up and hooting and hollering and with joy. And they're like, oh my God, look, it's a Lich King. And yes, the cinematic looked fantastic. And there can be only one true king. It was one of those things like I went back and tried to double check stuff so that way I understood who this was. Like, the guy's name is actually Arthas. His last name is Menethil. And then the family, and he actually has a sister and this and that. And I was trying to figure out like how did he get the armor. So I was learning all that on my own because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Like a lot of people did because they played the Warcraft games. I did not. And It was fun. I mean, it was just great. I think out of most raids, I think when it came to raiding in general, I think most of my successful time involving raiding had to be around that time, because I didn't do any. It was like one of those things as expansion wise, let's say it that way. So the first expansion, Burning Crusade, throughout all that time, most of my time spent in that game was mostly PvP. Something about it, I didn't care for wanting to do dungeons. I didn't care for wanting to do any of the raids. I think I did maybe a tinge of some of the raids, but then it was like, fuck. That Wrath of the Lich King got me a little hooked on wanting to do some more. I backed off from the PvP. I mean, I still did PvP, don't get me wrong. Especially the world PvP, like the one spot Wintergrass. I thought Wintergrass was fun. Like, I really had a good time with Wintergrass. I think the way they got it now is not as good, but it's still, to me, fun. Yeah, there's people that just, they want to do their own thing in that place, but for the most part, I don't give a shit. It's fun. It was fun. But when it came to getting dungeons done and then getting some raiding done, that's when, like, my guild that I had made with my buddy we were thriving a little bit at that point. There was the unfortunate of some certain individuals who were in the guild. It was like one of those things, like, let's just say everybody's entitled to play the game how they wanted to play the game, because that's their $15 a month. Like, nobody can force anybody to do whatever. But at least have some consideration in a way for the lying. Like, there's no need to lie. Like, I don't understand with certain other, like, I'm one of those people, like, I'm such a truthful person that I see no real reason to lie. I never do. Like, I never see the real reason to lie, because eventually somebody's going to find out the truth. So it's like, in this case, these individuals wanted to claim that they wanted to make their own guild. They claimed they wanted to do their own pursuit on raiding and whatnot. And I said, you know what? All right, you know, because the way they explained it sounded like that's what they wanted to do. And I'm like, that's what you want to do? I can't force you to stay in my guild and shit. You know, all I know is, like, once I found out it was all BS, like, they made the guild and everything, but then they disappeared for a little bit. And then once I saw, like, there was one of them in particular I finally got to see it active. And when I found out what guild that person is, and I'm like, oh, so you talked about making this wannabe guild, and now you're in that big guild over there, so you can just use everything I taught you and then some to just piggyback off of their success already, just to get stuff up. Is the way I assumed it is. I'm not saying that's the way it is, but it did suck. Like, to think that I spent my $15 an hour time on this game to help them get geared, to enchant their gear, to help them get materials to make, like, potions and other things to get us all beefed up. That way we can go into these raids together as a team and try to conquer this dungeon or this raid, you know. And to think that that's how they left me, you know? Like, they gave me bullshit. Like, they should have just said, look, man, I'm not digging it. I'm not feeling it. I'm sorry, you know, thank you for everything. Like, at least nothing. I didn't get anything. All I got was BS, and it sucked. It really did. It really sucked. It really hit me in a way, like, which is one of the main reasons. It's not the only reason, but it is one of the main reasons why I am such a soloist for the most part with the game now. Ever since then, it was like a downhill trend of the least amount of time I'm spending with people and just doing my thing, you know. And the game did kind of change that way. Don't get me wrong. That's the other thing. It's like I was on this trajectory to be more solo, and the game was actually aiming for more solo with every subsequent expansion and other patches and other things that were coming around, where it's like it didn't require me to actually screw around with other people. Like I just wanted to fucking do shit on my own, and it was fun. Like, it's been fun. I get on and I just BS. Like, I've been bullshitting here and there. Right now, this new content that's out has been nice. It's been nice. Like, I like it. But I'm so casual, too, these days, that here I am, I'm bullshitting on this. I'm testing out the stream, and I'm just talking about stuff. This is cool. I want to do this for right now. Do I necessarily want to jump on the game and try to check something out? Maybe. I might just do a few minutes of that just to see how things go. But I'm not spending that much time right now. I'm just going to try to check some shit out. What the hell was this? Oh, this is from our friends over at Collider.com. Deadpool said it best. Holy shit, pickles. That guy's on fire. That's not CGI, folks. He's actually on fire. Oh shit, that's funny. 10 horror movies with the best practical effects. You know, I'm curious about that. What do we got? What we got here? Alright. So, like I said, this is from our friends over at Collider.com. Let's see what we got going. As CGI becomes increasingly more advanced and prominent in movies, it's worth it to take some time to consider all the hard work that goes into making a scene look realistic using practical effects. While the use of practical effects is not limited to horror movies only, the genre takes the front seat in terms of pioneering some of the most creative uses of practical effects before CGI was readily available or affordable. To depict grisly and gory scenes, special effects seen in classics such as The Thing, An American Wolf in London, or The Fly grossed out audience thanks to the hard work and dedicated SFX and makeup artists like Tom Savini and Rob Bottin. Yeah, there you go, some name drops. Alright. This list will highlight some of the best uses of practical effect in more contemporary films when CGI just couldn't cut it. So we got The Conjuring #3, The Devil Made Me Do It. See, now, I'm not a big horror person. I'm not. I just don't care. Like, it's not scary to me. Plus, the way the stories are, meh to me. So, excuse me if I say that there's probably a lot on this list I haven't seen. But to those who like horror, I'm going to go ahead and drop through this real quick. So, as we can see, this first one here is The Conjuring 3. The Devil Made Me Do It. So that's the title, huh? I'm not aware of this one. I'm really not. That kid looks freaking nuts. Following the storyline of the famous paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, we are transported back to 1981 as the two of them investigate a murder that may be linked to a demonic possession. During a scene involving an exorcism of 8-year-old David. His name is David. That's funny. It's my brother's name. The boy contorts. What? Charge the phone. That's my brother. The boy contorts his body into a seemingly humanly impossible position. But it is actually as a human performing that stunt. Contortionist. So that's a contortionist. Yeah, there's people out there that can do that for legit. Contortionist. Made her first appearance as stunt in a major motion picture as she served as a body double for the young David. Using no wires or sped up footage, the only use of CGI for that scene was to superimpose Jillian Hard's face into Wolf. Oh, okay, so they imposed the face. So this is actually her doing this. And then they imposed the face of the child. Okay. See, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Clown. 2014. It's just called Clown. I'm not aware of that one. Let me just go through the list because I don't want to. What time is it? Eventually, I gotta go. God damn it. Anyway, Evil Dead 2013. Then we got Pan's Labyrinth in 2006. Is that when Pan's Labyrinth came out? 2006? Why is it? I don't know. I'm not even aware of like the time. I was never aware of this time frame. Shit. 6 dollars. What the hell was that? So what you? I wonder. You're under the green. Everyone, hold on, everyone. This is my brother David, aka Mr. Malero on also YouTube, and you do both on that one and Twitch. But you put it as Mr. Malero, right? Okay.
Either
Oh, Mr. You got Mr. Underscore Malero, I believe. Yeah, for Twitch. Yeah, because you're already saying period. Oh.
So it's like I gotta level it out.
Oh, that's pretty good, huh?
But look at these muscles, okay?
Oh, look at that. Oh, you're toning. Look at that.
I didn't work
Toning.
out yet. I'm probably gonna work out later tonight because I'm trying to. I was thinking about it. I'm thinking about switching more closer to probably overnight again. Having that schedule. Because
if you get with these people.
Even though there's mosquitoes.
If you get with
Right,
these
if
people.
I get with these people too.
Yeah. Because then that'll keep you in that flow of the overnight.
Right.
Like how I try to do something where. Okay. Right.
So.
Oh yeah, so the pollen, so it's less.
Yeah, it's like. Oh, my bad.
Hey, no,
Yo.
I don't know if they heard you. I don't know. But anyways, the whole all night, like it helps with the overnight on the sense of like the days off. You'll do that especially too, right? Or would you do it like, because if you work, would it be like you do it just before work, or would you do it just after work? Because let's say you do kind of, so far, let's say what, 3 days of work? Roughly is what you want to aim?
3 days because I'm not trying to overdo it with my body.
Yeah, because that knee, you don't even know what you expect too. But yeah, so that way you can still in consistent overnight, like, hey, I worked, but now it's like, now I work as I'm working out. I'm doing X, Y, and Z, boom. Now I'm in that flow. You'll get yourself where you know when you're going to go to bed and stuff. Like me right now, I'm trying to stay up until a certain time to then go to bed, to then wake up and go to work. Because I'm more of the, I like waking up and then going to work than I am had slept, then wake up, and then go to work. Because I feel I'll be that much more fucking tired trying to get my ass home. Which is scary in itself every time how tired I am.
I feel like I'm a little in the middle.
You're in the middle?
Because I wake up and I give myself, I have to give myself time. If I don't give myself time, I'm overdoing it on myself. So it's like, I give myself
That's true.
before and after.
That's true.
Because you know how I am, I got ADHD. So it's like, if there's too much going on, I need to give myself that time and that space. So it's like, in the mornings, I have my routine. You know, it takes me about an hour to do all of my stuff. So it's like, if not, and if I'm just waking up going to work, I'm going to feel so drained. And that's what I used to do, so I'm not trying to do that no more. So it's like, I'm trying to give myself that time.
So what's a basic concept so far in your head? Like, is it like work, come home, work out, take a shower?
I probably work out what would be my morning, because it's part of my morning routine now. So it's
that's
like,
essentially,
when I wake
yeah.
up, you know, I do everything. Right now I'm taking a break because I'm trying to rest a little.
Because luckily the working out thing is about how many minutes you think you take? Like a 30-minute deal? Roughly?
Working out, I give myself like an hour. I give myself
hour
an
of
hour
working
'cause
out?
I would sit there and get lost in thought. So it's like, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm working out. So that's how I am.
Oh.
I'm not that much
Hopefully,
of a disciplinary.
hopefully you break out of that just so you can give yourself more time on other things. Because eventually, see, the reason I say that is because, like, most fitness professionals are like, 30 to 35 minutes is all you need
but it's
per
like
day.
I have to work my way up there. So
Yeah.
it's like, it used to be, I
'Cause
gave myself 2 hours.
Then you're looking at, okay,
Now
so
I was able to cut
there's
it down
work.
more.
There's going to be work involved.
Right.
And your side hustle
So
of
it's like,
streaming. So I don't know how you're
so
going
it's
to treat
like,
that.
I gotta be patient with it. I have to really work my way in there. 'Cause
Right.
as soon as I start jumping into it, I'm gonna be fucked. I will be fucked. That's how my brain works. So it's like, I gotta slowly but surely take it day by day. Because I cut it down from 2 hours to 1 hour.
Why can't
so
you
it's
be in
like,
the camera's view?
I'm being a little more disciplined today. However, I'm not gonna work out too much because it's like I'm lactose and my mom was lactose and we're both lactose up in this house and we're like, so
I am so I said it before and I'll say it again. I am so fortunate to not have any of the fucking shit you got. Let's be fucking honest, man. I don't have any of that. The lactose shit, all the different variant things, which is everything. How did you say it the last time? You're allergic to Earth.
Yeah, basically. For the most
If there's a thing on Earth, I'm allergic to it. Is that pretty much how it, like?
For the most part.
For fuck's
like
sake.
A good 90%.
I mean, luckily, that's realistically, that's not. I mean, it's not like you're allergic to chicken. You're not allergic to beef.
Right.
You know, it is an exaggeration.
It is an exaggeration.
Don't get me
but
wrong.
it's for shits and giggles.
But I don't want any of that shit because I love peanuts. I love my peanut butter. You
Like,
fuck off.
I can eat to a certain extent until my body throws it out. So I can eat probably.
Why does that sound like a goal? I wanna.
Like, okay, let's say this. I could have about a tablespoon or 2 of peanut butter without it really fucking me up. I could eat like a peanut butter banana sandwich.
Okay.
That sounds good as fuck.
You know.
But anyways.
You know, I've never had one of those.
Really?
I don't know. I don't care for the concept of it. I mean, I haven't tried it. I'm not saying I wouldn't.
It also depends on the bread that you use.
It's not like I wouldn't though, just to be honest. But like the other time, someone had a PB&J, but they just happen to have banana in it. And I'm like, huh? I never did that. That's like the only other thing that I've thought of, seen it, and then actually had a chance to try when it comes to banana was someone having slices in their cereal. I tried that once, way back. It was not like it was a great experience, but it wasn't a horrible one either.
Actually, that gives me an idea because the other night I went to go eat some cereal because I had worked out and I was like, yo, I'm actually kind of hungry, but I'm not trying to. I don't want to drink a shake right now because it's just like that's too much liquid. So it's like I'd rather have the liquid the next day or something. So I'm like, you know what? Let me eat something solid. I'm like, oh, nice. I got some cereal. I just got some lactate. Oh, not lactate, but you know, dairy-free milk. And then freaking, I ate some cereal. I'm like, nice. I got some berries here. So I put blueberries and raspberries in. I'm like, I feel like strawberries are gonna be too sweet right now because I have some tart. However, I would like a different type of sweetness, like a lighter sweetness. And I was like, ooh, I wish I had some bananas right now. And it didn't have bananas at the moment. So I was like, oh, shit. Okay. So you know what? That's fine. But next time, now that I have bananas, I'll go ahead and put some bananas with the raspberries and blueberries. Great.
There we are. I don't look too bad.
Actually, no. I have bananas. They weren't ready. Is that what it was? I don't remember.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised at how everything's performing when it comes to 2 places to stream. Like it fucking. Hold on a sec now. I'm surprised at how everything's performing when it comes to 2 places to stream. I'm very happy for this. I am very. This is funny shit. It's funny to see myself too. Anyways. So what do we got here?
Oh shit, that's right. Okay, so
It's like, oh shit.
This is putting my diagnoses out there.
Diagnoses? What the fuck?
I think that's how it's actually pronounced,
Diagnoses.
But I thought,
right?
if I'm not mistaken, I think my friend, she was like, hey, actually, it's like this.
Let me see something. I'm curious. I'm very curious of that. Hold on.
Or something like that.
Multiple diagnoses.
According to National MS Society, it's possible to have MS and something else at the same time. A person with two diagnoses has extra considerations in managing both diseases.
So I was close.
Something else is a
So
life-threatening illness such as
diagnoses.
cancer or a chronic condition such as osteoarthritis.
So is there diagnoses? Okay.
I added a
Okay.
little disease.
The disease.
But I was
A little
close.
disease. But no, because I haven't heard anybody say that. So I was like, ooh. That's that's how I am. I'm always catching on to shit. I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck you just say? Let me check that. Hey, what are you staring at, huh? What are you looking at? The fuck out of here. It was good. It was good. Don't get me wrong. As good as it is, though, it could have been better. But I think something limited you for like that middle part in the middle, right?
I
It
didn't
just
want
wasn't
too much sweetness.
too much sweetness is what it was. Yeah.
I didn't want too much sweetness.
See, I guess
Actually, I was supposed to put a lot of sugar to make the gel, but because of how my mom and I are, we don't like that sweetness.
Yeah,
So it was like I
that's-
was trying my best to cut down on the
I think
sweetness,
that's
why.
like with me, with that particular type of dessert, I feel like the sweetness would be where I would want it a little up more. While I mean, it's at a good spot. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm knocking it. You know what I'm saying? But it's one of those things like when I'm out for sweet, I want sweet. You know, like because there are things out there I've had where I thought it was gonna be sweet, and then I was like let down because
It's
it
just
just
how
wasn't.
your taste buds are, and like you as
Exactly.
Because the way my mom and I are, we're like, we need to cut back on some of this sugar because it's like
That's
we've
like
been there. We've been in the unhealthy state.
Like
so
chocolate?
We're not trying to.
Like, for example, I went to that Golden Corral and saw the stupid fucking fountain thing. I said, "Ooh, I want to try that," right? So I had got like a fucking strawberry, got it in there, took it to the seat, and like the chocolate barely was there as in flavor. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you need to, like for you.
it was
order
like
to
barely
taste it, you
there.
need up the sugar.
It was barely there. But no, I don't think with the way real chocolate is, I think that is just a way to get it to be that liquidy and go through that fountain.
True. I feel you.
I feel like it's so diluted is probably what it is. So like when I get a regular candy bar, then I'm good. Like obviously like a Hershey's or something like that. Mr. Good Bar.
So
you
what type
can
of
have.
chocolate do you prefer? Like if you were gonna bar chocolate, because there's, there's
Honestly,
chocolate,
I don't
there's
have a
dark chocolate.
preference. I mean, I've yet to really try the darkest of the darkest, which are just the higher cocoa. I haven't had a chance to try those to see where I am. Like, how high would I go? Like, I think the highest I've seen was 80-85% cocoa. But I haven't tried. I think I haven't even gotten to 60, maybe? I don't remember. And then how like some people don't like white chocolate. I like white chocolate. I think it's fine. To each their own, of course. But that's I'm so far don't have a chocolate I don't like. I guess that's how I can say it. So I don't have a preference.
I'm a little iffy on the white chocolate because it depends on the quality.
So far, all the ones I've had I've been fine with. So.
Because there was this one.
Like that Zero Bar. Remember the Zero Bar? I was like, oh look, and I finally fucking got one. Like that's white chocolate around that with the nougat and whatnot. Like something about that one, I'm good with that
Gosh,
one.
there was a classmate, right, back when
Why are you getting more and more away from the camera?
Oh, because I like the door.
You in the door? Okay, here. I'll give you some door.
I'm like a...
No, I can't see it because of the computer.
This is my little Latina mom coming out.
Just bring your
So
ass.
the door.
Bring your ass.
Or like the auntie.
Actually, I need to be putting this here anyway.
I don't have a door now to go like this.
You ain't supposed to go like this. You saw my face? Jesus. The fuck face was that?
There was...
so I had someone... I blocked it, I guess. I don't know. But it was... I ain't gonna lie, it sounded funny to me. But it was like... Man, your head starts where your balls are... It's like...
Huh?
Something about like the chin and my balls are connected and I'm ugly or whatever. It was funny. I wouldn't mind reading it again just as shits and giggles, but I was like, what the fuck is that? But then so far something about $9 right there. So
You got $9?
No. Somebody said something about $9. I don't know.
Okay, I was gonna say
I don't know if I'm making any money yet.
I mean, you could. There's no.
I guess I
your
could.
PayPal.
I don't know.
Be like, hey yo.
I know there is my PayPal. I would have to set that up, right? Can I set that up? That was good. Hold on. What, are you planning to do more? I tell you what, though, like, as much as I like that one, though, I still think that lemon was the shit, yo.
The lemon one was rich.
It was... That's why I like it. Because
was
Because I've noticed myself where I need that little extra potency.
Richness.
Yeah. Something more
I like
potent.
things...
Like things that are mild in flavor, I'm like, okay, but I'd rather have the more potency of the flavor. Like, here's the chicken, I want the flavor of this chicken here. Like a little
And
boost,
that's another reason why I said I feel like if I had more strawberries, I could have executed the cake a little better as well.
Could've. You could've.
That, even with the amount of sugar that I was putting in, which was, I was trying to limit it. I was trying to get more of the richness of the strawberry. So it's like I don't.
Bring your ass.
Oh.
If you're gonna talk to me, you're gonna talk to me in here.
Forgetting.
God damn it.
I'm in my. Don't mind me. I'm in the green.
The green.
It's so funny.
That's the description.
My mom
in the
came
green.
out yesterday. I'm like, oh my gosh, you want to see the back? And then I was showing her like different things. She was like, oh yeah, I remember you were showing me that when you were high. And I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, so she's been doing alright with that.
Yeah,
I guess.
I mean,
That's good.
I moved out for one. That's a huge factor right there.
It is.
Two, she knows I'm not using it for ill use.
Well, it's helping you in so many ways.
So many ways, spiritually, physically, checking in with myself.
But remember, that was one of my things. Like I always said, I'm like, I don't smoke, but it's like, I still never saw the reason why marijuana was put in a category where it was so bad and they had to do all the fucking illegal and everything like that, right? Because I don't remember. I would now that I think about it, probably I'll do that later. Is just to find out when exactly was that implemented. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I'm sure some of it also had to do with other contributing factors. Yeah. Unfortunately, they just happen to fucking. It's like they backdoored all the shit they probably wanted with marijuana.
I feel like in a way I kind of get it, like.
But that's my trust in the government in general, though. Is I always felt like there is backdoor reasons to every fucking thing. We're over here to do this, but then what's all the backdoor shit that's connected that we don't know?
I was looking at some stuff in Florida, because in the state of Florida you can have up to, like, if I'm not mistaken, it was 3 ounces worth of weed. And I'm like, you could carry that and you won't even get arrested, because it's just like even if you have your medical card too, you could be like, hey, yo, listen.
Well, especially
so
with that.
That's another reason why I would also like to get it. And I feel like the reason why they have it restricted in a way, because it can be used for ill use. It can be, and I'm gonna say this because a lot of people don't like to talk about this.
Hold up.
However,
Yeah, a lot of people don't like.
a lot of people don't like to talk about this. I've seen it on TikTok a couple times too.
See, actually, can I do that? Oh yeah.
Yeah, weed in a way is a drug. However, it's also a very spiritual drug. So if you're not spiritual strong and you're not mindfully strong, you will end up using it for ill use.
But also, like anybody too, the effects on one person will never be the same effects on another. Because I was just looking at a stream with Maya where she was explaining that she finally tried her first time trying weed, and it just didn't land with her the right way. Like it didn't.
Yeah.
She didn't care for the effects, but then that's like when I had that one test drive on my shit. Like my idea was I don't want to sleep with the way the effects of the sleepiness of that one I had, plus the pressure I had in my head.
Right.
Like I'm like, what the fuck? My whole head had this pressure to it. So I'm like, all right, I need to back off on this THC. Obviously, I want the CBD there, you know, but
I feel like
we're still
the
testing.
level I was on was more of the like you're in it, you're in the weed.
Plus, like that's
you're
like those
still
times.
in the beginning stages of understanding.
But that's also those individuals that have tried like different shrooms and shit. Like that's a whole nother like.
That's a
you
whole
are,
nother level.
And the way most of the people they all share like this one thing though. Like all of them have like different things they're saying. But the one commonality between them have been like it's like it's opening your mind to senses you didn't know you can sense.
Yes.
And things you don't normally obviously can see. And it's like, I mean, as trippy as it sounds, it still sounds more like you're tapping into things that we are not necessarily open to on a regular basis with the way our mind is constructed and whatnot like that. You know what I mean? Like when I was talking about dreams, remember my idea of how dreaming and then later it can be connected because that's how it is with me, that is. Where in a dream, I can have a deja vu because in a dream, I'll have a dream. And then later, that shit happens. That's my deja vu. It's like, oh, because I already seen it, but the times that I seen it, I try to recollect when, and it happened to be, it had to have been when I was a dream, and then that's what it ended up being. So imagine that with people taking shrooms and psychedelically like connecting themselves to things where they can see something.
Exactly, you're connecting more to energies and stuff like that. Because when I be saying it, I'm off my ass, but I be praying it over.
The way you say it, though,
right.
is funny.
So I be praying it over because I be trying to like make sure I'm not getting into the wrong energy. Because if I'm getting into the wrong energy, I'm getting closer to death. That's another thing that I learned too. The closer I get to bad energy, the closer I am to death. So protect yourself and protect your energy. So it's definitely a thing. That's how I'm able to mature.
Little side note.
Right.
Why'd you look at the mic as if that's a person sitting right there?
Because it's like if I'm
the camera's over there.
I know the camera's
but
there.
But you looked at the mic.
For the
like
you
need to like. Let me tell you something.
Yeah, I'll to the people.
not the people right there. No. Let me tell you, Mr. Mike, because you right here, Mr. Mike.
That's why I like the mic. Camera. I know, but I like the mic because, it's an ADHD thing. So it's like I be looking at the mic. Sometimes I don't be looking at the people. I just be looking at the mic and be like, yo, what up?
You about fall off the bed and shit.
But I be doing that on my own streams. I see other streamers do it.
See, I don't even know. Like, is this this is picking up at a good?
The streamers that I watch, even in the ADHD sections, like there was this one girl. Like I just be looking at.
You say ADHD section. Normally, it feels like everybody's got their own fucking ADHD, and every single person that's over there in these fucking streams.
You know what's funny? Oh yeah, I was talking about my diagnosis.
Not in a bad sense, but your diagnosis.
Yes, I was actually diagnosed with ADD and ADHD, but a lot of people were just like, "You can't have both." I'm like, "No, you can. It's a mixture." You know how
anyone that says you can't are very, very uneducated. Let's say it that way, because. Like how I always say, anything's in the realm of possibility. So for when someone says, oh no, really? You sure about that? Really? Shut up. No.
So this is why I say it's very important to learn your mental health. Learn yourself as a human. Because I'm learning myself, and it's like, you know what? Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. That's part of growing up, is learning oneself. Like, yeah, I don't have it, but does that mean I'm not doing any learning for myself? No. Everybody has their own learning to do, their own struggles to learn, their own levels of learning, their own epiphanies, and their own, like, oh my God.
That makes sense.
Whoa. So that's why I do those things. You know, it's like, you never fucking know. You just got to keep trying to find ways to learn.
Exactly.
And you'll never stop, really, but just so long you get a real good general sense of, like, okay, this is what's up. I'm going to start trying to do this to help with this. And then, you know, you start trying to find ways. Because, like I've said before, I don't think the ADHD is like an excuse. It's just a thing that is you. But now do you have to understand how it affects you? Do you like the way it affects you? If not, you find ways and to train yourself, discipline yourself, so you can avoid the things that make you feel uncomfortable for that part. Like, I'm not saying every single aspect of ADHD is negative, to be honest. I mean, the way you do some of the things, it's like, I mean, you seem so alive in the middle of it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have that aliveness like that, because that's that type of energy you have with the way that's constructed right now. Let's say it that way. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it has its flaws, but it does have some benefits. It's not like it's a negative across the board kind of thing. You know what I mean? But I see where there's those difficulties, but then I know some difficulties now through what you've explained and what I've seen from you of being around you. So it's like, oh, there's new difficulties and new other things that I learned through you on that as your individual version of it. And yeah, there might be plenty of people that share certain parts, but not everybody's the same ADHD, of course.
Exactly.
Like, you know, so that's why, like, in some cases, we need to do this goddamn podcast. Some fucking, you know, mental health.
Because right now, when I was really studying it, I was looking at word by word, you know, and I'm really thinking about it. Because a lot of times you just need to allow yourself time to think.
Oh, yeah.
So when I was thinking about it, I'm like, okay, so let's break it down. Because I remember this one TikToker. Oh my gosh, if we have a YouTube video on this, I'm going to send you to TikTok so you can insert the clip. He said, I have ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. Nothing has my full attention. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, yes, it makes sense if you really break it up. Attention deficit hyperactive disorder. You know how I broke it down for you in my terms? You know, my way of it, I understand it.
Right.
Hyperactive is like, there's too much going on here. What the fuck is this? This felt like disorganization for me, because it's like I'm everywhere.
So is that what the hyper for you feel? Because for me, I thought the hyper part was the sheer fact of how much energy the individual has. That's what I thought the hyper part was.
The hyper part also has to do with
like, that's the energy. Boom, you got the energy, and you have to expel. Like, because that's how I was with my son. Was like, I saw the energy, so I made sure that he was able to expel it. Like, let's use that energy. You got it. Let's use it. And then have him, like, he like this and like that. Okay, well, there you go. That's what you like.
Right.
Like, I had these toys over here, but what did he like? An empty 2-liter bottle of soda. That's what he wanted. And then he wanted a used roll of tape. For some reason, he wanted it. There you go. Okay.
That is part of it. However, you know how I said sugar and caffeine affect people who have ADHD.
Right.
It affects them in a different way.
And alcohol, apparently.
Yes.
Because, like, you got Miskiff over there.
It's because how,
you know.
1, your body's built, 2, what you're intaking, and 3, how it's supposed to affect you, but versus what you already have, you know. So it's like, it's in a different way. I don't know how to describe it without, like, really
Well, that's the thing. Like, so in some cases where something that's supposed to give you an up, it actually goes down.
Yes.
It's the opposite.
And then there's
but that's
times,
because you're already on an up. Let's say it that way.
And there's also another thing where it's like ADHD burnouts and sugar burnouts and caffeine burnouts. I can't have that much caffeine. I can have caffeine, but I need to have a healthy amount of caffeine before I have a burnout. Because it's like, yeah, I'm going to have energy, but as soon as like it wears off, I'm fucking groggy. I'm groggy. I'm done for. I'm just like, my heart's beating. Is like, it's the after effects of the caffeine. And then when it comes to sugar, if I eat like either natural sugar or just straight up sugar, it really depends on how much I try to cut down, especially on certain times, because it's like I will get hyper and it will be bad, so I need to burn it off in some way. That's why in a way to cope with it in a healthier way, I go work out.
Right.
So I might as well burn it off. That way I could be in it, like, and allow myself time to think. Because if I don't allow myself that time to think, then my mind's going to be everywhere. And I'm going to be everywhere bouncing around the fucking house. So it's like, you really just got to learn yourself as a human.
It reminds me of some old school fucking cartoon. Woo! Woo! Woo!
Yeah,
woo!
that's how it will
Turn around.
feel. That's how
It's
it'll
like
feel
that.
if you don't have control over yourself. So that's another reason why I didn't like medications that much. But when it first happened, when I did first take
Oh, is that Thomas?
it did help.
Hi. He said, hi guys, how are you today? So far, so good.
Yes.
I know I'm starting to get tired. Eventually, I gotta go to bed.
Yes.
My brother seems to be doing fine. Right?
Yes.
I know you'll be up. I gotta go to bed and work tonight, unfortunately. But how are you?
Oh, what's his name is coming over today?
Who's coming over?
This guy that lives like 5 minutes away. He
guy?
said he was coming at 12.
You
He
mean
called me yesterday to tell me to tell
Dex?
you. Yes.
Oh. Really?
Yeah.
What time?
I like 11, 12.
Why?
To come over. Because he said that you told him that you need to help with something and then we're
Yeah,
gonna
but
do
I
something.
told him he would, like, on a day off.
Oh.
Like, we were talking about,
I told him we weren't doing too much in the morning.
Wednesday, yeah, but my morning is almost done.
Yeah, it is.
But here he is going to come around and fuck
That's
me over?
afternoon. 12? Yeah, that's afternoon.
Exactly.
That ain't even the morning.
That's not my...
Go on, Mr. Sir.
My morning was like 3 hours ago.
The morning is like up to, because you usually fall asleep, depending on the day.
It would go either now or an hour from now, the latest.
An hour from now, the latest, right?
Especially on my night, on opening nights, I gotta go to bed a
Yeah, on
little
opening
sooner.
nights, because today's what?
It's Sunday.
Sunday, right?
Yeah.
And then tomorrow is also, tomorrow's Monday.
Which when I wake up, hopefully I remember to put the trash out. So they can pick it up for Monday morning.
Oh, hit him up.
Oh,
I don't like being the
I'm
messenger
good, I'm
all the time.
good.
I don't
What
like
are
being...
y'all up to? Actually, what we're up to, for the most part, is just kind of shooting the shit, but we got into the whole ADHD topic.
Right.
He's explaining a few things, because he's the one that has, which would, like you were saying, you have
the
both.
combination of ADD and ADHD.
So there's ADD and ADHD. And somebody had a
It's like the
misconception that you can't have both, but you actually can.
You can.
Because
yes.
you do.
Because right now, I'm at an ADD moment.
Right.
Where it's like, there's not too much going on. I'm just kind of at a flow. I'm at a level. Another reason I'm also on the degree.
Now, what was that split up again? So it's ADD
/ ADHD.
No, but what's that stand for?
Okay.
So you told me the other one.
ADD is attention deficit disorder, and then there's ADHD with the hyperactive.
Right. Okay.
Hyperactive is when there's too much going on, and then also there's some
ADHD.
Yeah.
ADD.
ADD. Right. And then ADD is basically you don't have that hyperactive part. You don't have all the extra shit. You're not.
So what puts you? So for example, what would place you right now in the ADD moment? Is just because there's not a lot going on.
Yes.
So there's not a lot of elements here to you know, like a thing and a sound over here and then a movement over there. That kind of.
Yeah, because like right now I'm kind of more in this focus.
Right.
Like, this is my focus here because there's not much going on. I didn't have much planned for today, so it's like
okay.
Environment also affects things too. So it's like if the environment is pretty healthy and is, you know, I've been chilling at home, I'm alright. But if it's like, let's say at work, I
like
would
a
get
work
fucking
environment,
lost like a motherfucker.
Right,
Sometimes
right.
I'll be like, what was I doing? Like,
but that's
I'm
based on
walking-
that kind of work environment. Like, if you were at a grocery store and stuff like that, like, because there are so many elements, there are so many peoples and all that, like, it just... Shit!
That's
I'm
why,
lost.
another reason why I liked being in, like, a certain spot. Or rotating here and there. Because, like, there was another thing in, like, elementary school. We used to have the thing called centers. Because they'd rotate the little group of people to different sections. That was our centers. So I'm like, you know what? I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, what if I just treat my life like centers? I rotate things. Things have been so much fucking better because I started rotating things.
Okay.
And it's like, yo, I rotate my days. I rotate when I sleep. I rotate, like, different things.
Okay.
And it's like, it's been helping me a lot to calm myself down, to like really get in tune with like, okay, I need to focus on, let's say, okay, keep a mental note, Blanca's fleas. Okay, however, there's a lot of factors in it, like the stray cats, we have to really treat the yard, etc., etc. I'll do it once in a blue moon. Yeah, we're gonna have to suffer a little bit, but I'm maintaining them in a way where
Right.
it's like, okay, I'm I. And then, like, because if I try to do everything at once, that's another problem with ADHD, ADD. You try to do everything at once, and you don't allow yourself time to get things. That's another reason why I tell you have to reach me on another business day. Cause like,
the whole business day.
yeah, 'cause if you really think about it,
the next business day I'll get
it's
back to you.
because I'm not in that rotation yet.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
if
yeah.
I really get myself thinking, I'm gonna start over like I'm everywhere. So it's just like it needs to fit in with my schedule. That's why another.
So we got a question from our friend here.
can't
You
see.
seem to like DC superheroes. What's your favorite? Now, I know you're kind of tapping into it these days just to ask
Yes.
questions because something did kind of catch your eye here and there. But like my brother hasn't really been into like the whole DC. He's primary. You're the other end of the spectrum when it comes to animation and stuff like that. Because I don't know if you ever delved into manga itself. I think you've just been
Just a
shows and
little
stuff
bit.
when it comes to anime.
Just a little bit. It really depends. I have to be in the mood.
Because like with me, it's like I'm not strictly a DC, so I like some DC, but I'm not like how some people are like stuck on, oh, if you're DC, then screw Marvel. So I'm not that. I like it all. I like all of it.
Right.
But I'm not hardcore either.
I feel
so
like we
like
just appreciate everything for what it is.
and so far, it doesn't seem like you're too hardcore or anything on your
I'm
end.
not even a hardcore anime.
You know?
Like,
Because, like, as much as I do like Batman, do I not necessarily like Superman? No, I do like Superman. Do I like him in certain ways? Yeah, but so far I've been very open to the idea of that. And I think you could probably see how I am with that. That no matter what it is, I'm open to it and the different interpretations of it. Because there are those things where, like, yeah, right now I was just looking at a thing with the Batman, and there was actually someone that didn't like it. So far, everybody does like it, but it's like, what kind of movie it is. Eventually, I'll get to see it, and I want to see it for what it is, opposed to like when someone's like, oh well, or whatever movie it was. Hey, that Batman didn't do that in the comics, and it's like, well, first of all. They're not supposed to do everything in the movie like the comics and stuff like that. But it's like, I love everybody's different interpretations, different stories, just so long it catches your ear, your eye, however it is, and it just really vibes in a good way. Like how I enjoyed, actually, that's when I got that little miniseries I was telling you about with Venom. And he was it's Venom the symbiote, but with a different person. It's an ex-military person that lost his legs, but with Venom he has legs, but he's out in space, and he was hanging out. I think he was hanging out at this point. He's now not like with them in a way, but he was hanging out with the Guardians of the Galaxy of that time, and a certain collection of the individuals that he was hanging with. He was like part of the team, but then he went off and he did some stuff. But it was also learning about what the symbiotes called. Like, I didn't know what they were called. I didn't know what they were called at all. We were just calling them symbionts, right? Come to find out, they're called Clintars. And I was, oh. Come to find out, there's a planet. Oh. Come to find out, the one planet was like cleansed or whatever, and they're actually like kind of like almost like a policing force. Like, they'll look for the one symbiote, they'll go with the one person for the one area, and then they go help wherever they can help. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. But then it also shows you the effectiveness of, like, when, for example, when that symbiote first was a thing, it was on Spider-Man. Okay, everything seemed cool. But when Spider-Man didn't like some of the tendencies of the things he was doing, remember how, like, I was telling you he used, like, sound to split them up or whatever? Oh, you stuck over there? I mean, hell, the sound was like... You need assistance? Do you need assistance?
I'm gonna sit here for a minute.
You just gonna lie there for a minute? Alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I gained the strength.
Hell, I didn't know that symbiote shit was like as crazy it was until like they brought in what was he's like a symbiont king. He's like this. Fuck, I forgot what they call him now. Shit, I'm sorry. But whatever. All I know is that sucker's bullshit.
This is better.
There you go. Are you comfortable? Don't let the bed take you.
It's not just the comfortability. It's also because, like, I'm kind of crippled too. So it's like, you know, I got to be in certain positions so it doesn't hurt.
Why do we got to be so crippled? Anyways, we got to be so damn crippled.
And there's times where I got to check my posture too, because it's just like, if I don't have the proper posture, I'm hurting. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, that was like those shoes I was telling you that wore out the wrong way, and then it would make my feet turn kind of sideways like that, and it was just ruining my posture.
I'm like, I just put something in between my legs, and I'm like, wait, what did I just?
What are you just putting random things between your legs?
It's a comfortability thing. That's a comfortability thing.
That's one thing I noticed when it comes to sleeping way back in the early stages is that there are times where I have to have something between my legs. But I think it's not because I want something between the legs, but I've noticed how it does change how the body's aligned in bed. Because the way, like, the knees are together or whatever, like, so splitting that up and, like, my hip feels different, it sits differently. So it does help, like, especially because I'm normally either on my side or side stomach. So it's like, fuck. Either way, I don't think I'm sleeping that damn well anyway.
Because I've been learning myself a little more, I rotate a lot. That's another thing.
I think that's why I don't sleep that well, because maybe I'm in a bad position and then my body turns and then I'm in a bad position.
You gotta find the right position of that night. That's another important thing for that night.
I think I tossed the turd. I actually was thinking about doing that, just having the camera on and watch myself sleep and see how I sound, number one, because obviously I snore. Well, actually, I saw a little bit of that time when I passed out in the truck where I told you I pulled over. That looked weird. It sounded weird, too. Like, I'm seeing my chest move up and down fast, but it doesn't sound like it's in sync with what I'm hearing. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, we're kind of sleeping.
So let's try to look at the health behind it.
In a way, I was thinking of doing the camera over here, like get the pod, put it over here, have it straight down on me here, or over there. I don't know, whichever. And just fucking record and see how it looks.
I remember this one time at my parents' house. There was a few times where they said I was either sleep talking or sleepwalking, and I'm like, what? And then there was another time where what's her name was here. She was saying I was sleep talking. I'm like, dead ass. And then even when Maria came over, she was like, yo, you sleep talk one point. And I'm like, I want to hear myself.
See, that sounds like definitely I would say you need to set up a camera to
I've
see
heard
where
you
that's
sleep
at.
talk before too.
Have I?
Mm-hmm.
What have I said?
You also called my name before.
Did I?
Yep.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it's in a state of a dream or something.
I think so, because you were snoring. You were knocked the fuck out.
So,
Something like that, but it was more slower.
Like that kind of.
Like, hey yo, like you were kind of talking to me in a way. So it's just like, is this man having a full blown conversation?
But was it that you walked in?
No, I was actually outside of the room.
You were outside.
Yes.
Okay.
You know what else?
That's
is
some
crazy?
shit.
The door was closed. Like
so you
that.
were out there.
Yes, because it was quiet in the house, so I'm able to like hear different things. So I heard you, and I'm like, this man.
So where were you when you first
In the
heard
kitchen.
me? You were just happened to be in the kitchen?
Yeah.
And then you heard me, and then you came up closer just to hear me? More? maybe,
No, I
or-
actually no. I have pretty decent hearing, so
Okay.
it's like if I'm able to hear you loud and clear from there,
That's
I'm
interesting.
closer. But I was like, yo, this man is sleep talking.
I didn't know that.
I downloaded this one app where I was able to hear myself snore, and it's a very light snore.
Oh, so ask, what anime or mangas are you into? So when it
Okay.
comes to now, is it interchangeable where you're saying, hey, that show I like, but I'm not necessarily reading the manga, and vice versa?
Yeah, I don't read mangas like that anymore. I used to when I was more in middle school, high school.
Right.
Because it was like I was able to do it. A lot of the times I would sit on the toilet just reading. Because like that's my area, that's my zone. So it's just like, okay, I'll look at a manga or something. However, and my bestie can relate to this too. We like a lot of BL and GL. So we used to read, a lot of. But that's where most of my stuff would go into, in like webtoons and stuff like that. It will be a lot of either Korean or Japanese.
So out of reading material, the style was
Yes.
like that.
That's more of like.
So that was
what my
that's what
attention
it got
was
you. It's like,
towards,
oh hey, which is actually left to right. That's the other thing. Like,
And then also
I didn't even
on
do
the
that at
phone,
first. I
there'll
was like,
be
what
a
the
lot of
fuck?
scrolling or just pages.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of.
Oh, so
people-
you were reading some of the digital content?
Yeah.
Like how they have it?
I prefer.
I've heard about that. Like, I don't know if I want to.
I prefer digital because, like, I appreciate also digital art when you get to see it. So it's just like, okay, that's cool. It's like, I wouldn't go out of my way, like, spending money on a book if I don't find my interest in it. You
Well,
feel
that's
me?
where, like, I know with me, one of the things I do see that is nice is when it comes to, like, let's say a manga or a comic book, is to just skim through it and see the artwork anyways. Because on one hand, I've learned that on the front of the book, it's not always the person that's drawing inside the book. And then depending on the book, like, you might have the first issue, so you had this person did that cover, this person did the inside. The next issue could be the same cover person, whole different person on that second issue on the inside. But the story is still the same storyteller because they have maybe a 6-issue arc. Like, they know they're going to make 6, they're going to write out 6. But you might have 6 different artists for the regular inside, and you might have 2 or 3 that are your covers. But then also what I've noticed, which I think is a cash grab, but they'll have other variant covers. So it'll be the same book, different cover, different artists. Just to, like, I guess collection purposes maybe, but...
Yeah.
But the thing is, some of the online ones, so the ones you were looking at, were they necessarily... They were online, but those are the physical book, just happen to be, like, let's say, scanned in? Because it may be digital, but maybe it's not digital.
Some, but I prefer, like, how do I explain explain this. It's like if I'm following this person, it's like they're making the art, they're making the manga, they're making the book, whatever it is. Then I'll look at that.
Okay.
It's more of like I like more of a personal connection type thing. I don't.
I noticed that from a lot because I got my Freddie, my buddy, who actually knows specific artists because that's the artwork he likes. So like I think just recently he had a buddy that went to school with him, and he happened to hit him up because there was a particular piece of art that he really liked. Hit him up. He said, are you happy to be selling it? And the guy was a straight up, since you're my friend, I'll give you a discount and this and that. Because he just loves that style from that person. So, like, I remember, hey, I got so-and-so's book. This is the one he did of, like, because I know he loves Green Lantern. Like, that's one of them. So, he's got, like, he's even got the shit that's black and white before he's got color. And then he's got the regular piece. So, like, he's got the because it's like, I guess it's a certain way before you put the color. Like, it's the original, almost like how film is. Like, you can have film.
The outline?
And then have it. Like, this is just the black and white sketching of it. Before they digitally implement, because nowadays what I was looking at is digitally implemented colors. So, they'll go and sketch. There you go. It's on this thing, and it's actually got like a border on the edge to show sizing, I think. And then they take that and they scan it through, and then they digitally implement color. It's the last time I was seeing the process, that is. But yeah, like some of the artwork, I've seen shit with the Hulk that's great. But then I've seen stuff with the Hulk that's like, it's nice, but I like that one better. So it'd be like, okay, cool. The same goes, like, remember how I was talking about voice acting? Like, I like Fred Tatasciore as the Hulk. Do I say anything bad about the other ones that have done the Hulk? No, they all done pretty fine. I think they're alright. But that's my go-to voice. Like, the same as Steve Blum, which I was just looking at him a bit ago. Steve Blum is my go-to for Wolverine. You know? But then so that's on the side of manga and comic. So when it comes to anime, though, so far, it's like, I know you like the Demon Slayer. But it's like, what else, like, is it just those caught your eye, or you just sat down and tried them?
A mixture of both. That's the thing. It's like, there's times where I'm just like, I'm such a don't judge a book by its cover type thing.
Right.
It's like, you know what? There's times where I'm just like, let me try this. It's like, okay, there's something about it that doesn't draw me in. But I feel like it's going to be good just because it doesn't.
Yeah, like, what's the latest one that you were telling me about that kind of made you feel like that's us in the characters you were looking at? Oh. What's that one called now?
Oh, yeah, there was Dragon Prince. There was that one. I couldn't watch it the first time because, one, I was on the green. And two, there was too much movement in, like, the animation. So I'm like, this is hurting my head. But the next type times,
right. Okay.
The next times I watched it sober. That was definitely a huge factor in it. And two, I was taking a lot of pain relievers, so it's just like, in general, I was aight because I was still on pain reliever because of other stuff. So in general, that was a perfect time to go ahead and sit down and watch it, and it was really good. So I'm like, oh shit, it's nice.
So far that's sober with pain meds.
And
then
for
I can sit down.
You're right. Then there was this other one. There was Devilman Crybaby. I remember watching it, but I watched it. Devilman Crybaby.
Devilman Crybaby.
It's on Netflix. It was a Netflix original. But
it sounds like a combination of a manga and the video game Devil May Cry. Baby. I don't know.
But
because I like Devil May Cry as a franchise. I really like the story on that. It was pretty wicked. But what did that one have to do with?
When it's deep. That's one of those where it's like you need to watch those high. So it's like, because I remember when I first watched it, I watched it sober, and then my brother had came in and he was like, "Hey yo, like when you're watching these, like be careful, make sure you're like," in a way, like, he was kind of going off, but because of how I am and how calm I am, I was like, in a way, I was thinking of it like constructive criticism. Yeah. So it's like, in a way, he's actually just telling me to protect my energy. So it's like, this is one of those where it's like, okay, yeah, I could watch it. Yeah, I'm sober, but I'm not that in tune. So I wasn't really into it like that, and I'm like, okay.
So is that along the lines of like when there's certain individuals that should not be watching horror movies by themselves, where it just there could be an effect for that person that can go the wrong way,
right?
Maybe something like that, right? Okay.
Because there's a lot of things that can like trigger certain things, and there's people who are just like, it's just a show, but it's like if it really, there's a lot of times where I'm just like, if I know it's gonna affect me. Or in a way it was like, oh, I've been there, done that, or like whatever, then it's just like, it's one of those like, if I'm gonna watch it, I need to watch it with someone. I'm not trying to hop on the hype train, because it's just like, I know because of the stuff that I've heard, and like, let's say for an example,
that is something
Euphoria.
I've never got on a hype train.
Like for an example, Euphoria. Everybody's getting on it, but I'm sitting back and I'm looking at it. It's like, yeah, in a way, people will be like, oh, it's spoilers, but in reality, it's like, when I'm looking at it, I'm just like, this is one of those, like, if I'm going to watch it, I need to watch it with someone, or I'm not going to watch it by myself.
So, for example, let's take that one. So, who, though, would prefer to be that person? Because, like, I'm sure there's probably a preference of who a person, so, like, would it be, like, your bestie or someone like me? Because I know that's two different aspects right there.
That's more
so
of a
that
bestie.
one's a bestie?
Yeah. That's
so
more
what's
of a bestie.
something... So what's something that she'll bring to the table that'll assist?
It's more of like, because of how, let's say if Maria, I'd watch it with Maria, because it's like we're both on that level where it's like we're in this together, because it's just like it's hard watching certain things, but it's like good to look at it, because there's a lot of stuff that's being brought into like for an example, me and Maria, we bond over a lot of LGBT stuff, because it's just like there's some things that people don't talk about. And it's just like, we don't say we're from the LGBT. We don't. We just say, like, we're just us. Because that's what we are. We're us.
Well, it's one of those things, I mean, like, you know me, I don't like labels at all. Like, whole like titles and labeling, like, I feel is so disingenuous to the individuals.
Right. And then, a lot of times, me and Maria, like, or somebody else, we'd say, like, yo, you're making this community look bad. Because of what you guys are doing. That's why we separate ourselves. Because it's just like, if we're trying to be inclusive as human beings, then let's be inclusive as human beings. But it's just like, there's people who like different categories, and it's just like,
yeah,
like, I feel you on this part, but when it gets too much, we're just like, no, you're gonna make, like, the people who are just actually just chilling, trying to be inclusive, like, you're making us look bad. No, we're not. So we're more.
And
like
that goes for me on so many levels, on so many things. So when it comes to race, when it comes to, you know, gender and all that, like, to each their own. It's like, there are times I'm like, I understand what you're saying and what you're trying to portray, but at the same time, why are you? I mean, some I can understand of the pushing of it. Like, there's that push.
That's too much.
I understand it though, because, and I don't know if you agree with me on this one, on certain religious aspects, how they push religion.
They push it
right?
too much.
So I think sometimes because like there's a push here, this individual is like a push back feeling. Like, I need to push back. No, it's this way. It's like, no, everybody need to back the fuck up. No one should ever push upon, because you've heard me say that, as much as I don't have a problem with religion, don't come knocking on my door with a religion. If I want to know about the religion, I'll come to you or your place on my time to learn about said religion. Don't be knocking on my door. The same would go as somebody should be knocking on your door just to tell you or how you should be you know, in that sense. Let's say it that way, I guess. In your you know, there's, because no two human beings are alike.
Period.
Like that one Gia. Remember I was telling you about Gia. So it's a person that's a man becoming a woman, but still likes a woman. There you go. That's that person's individuality right there. Does that mean every single man that's going to become a woman have that same thing? No.
Exactly.
Because you might have the man that's becoming a woman, but it's still like a bi. Or you got the man that's becoming a woman to then go with a man. or you got because there's so many variations too. Like I saw the one where it was a dude that's like a woman, but they were with a dude that was like a woman becoming a dude. So it was like a swap. And I'm like, well, there you go. Okay. But then that one person opened their mouth, and I'm like, wait a minute. What kind of shit you saying right now? Like, I didn't... That vibe right there was so off. I'm like, what you're saying right now doesn't sound correct. And I believe you know who I'm talking about. It was the longer hair person that was sitting there.
Oh, yeah, and the Dr. Phil thing?
Right.
Right.
And even you were like, wait a minute.
What's going on here?
So it was like off. Like something was
really
off, you know? And I'm like, I'm not one of those people that say, hey, don't talk about yourself, I guess. You know, anybody can just talk about, like, this is my story. This is how I went from here to here to here. That's cool, you know. But nobody should impose. I guess that's another way of saying it. Nobody should impose things on other people. Like how that, when we were talking about the they, him, her, they, whatever.
Yeah, that's
and I'm like, wait a minute. How about we just get your name and then we'll stick to your name.
Right?
Boom. Let's do some simplification here. Because once you make things simple,
like,
it's easier for people to then discuss
Put it in terms where people can understand. Find that middle ground.
That's the middle ground.
The
middle ground.
You know, work your way up there. That's why I feel like for me, because it's like, you know, we're mixed. We're fucking mutts. We're all mutts.
Everybody's mutt. Nobody's a pure breed. That's for damn sure.
So it's just like, because I'm mixed, there's certain things where I would just see, like, and I'm like, okay, for an example, right? In a way, there's different types of black people, Hispanics, whatever, right? There's Latino blacks. There's a mix there.
Oh man, I remember.
This section won't be like, "Hey yo,
that's
here," and then this section will be like, "Hey yo, nah."
That's one of the biggest examples. Like when I was really young, it was. I want to say I was 9 years old. Was when I went. Yeah, so I had an opportunity to go to Puerto Rico. So we went from Brooklyn, New York, and then we went down to Puerto Rico. And then my time there was, first off, the fucking mosquitoes whooped my ass. Okay,
Yo.
they're like, dude, this motherfucker's sweet. Like I'm talking about, I had all these fucking bites on my legs. So, anyways, because I'm so white, I guess I don't know. But it was like, so to go over there and meet some family, I met some family, but to then also see, like, we went to a certain area and see all the visual diversity that is Puerto Rico. You have the lightest person to the darkest person.
One. Yes.
To then all the other combos in between. I mean, you think of a combo, it was there. You think about red hair, curly, but green eyes, blue eyes, and then the freckles. Yeah, but then you had the one person that looks like a black guy, but then he got red hair. It's like, yo, never seen that. That shit look cool. Then I saw this girl over here who looks straight out of like a whole other country, but she's from the island straight up. Never been anywhere else. And I'm like, wow, it's like this. That was literally, because they call the United States the melting pot. It really is when it comes to everyone around the world. But when you talk about a spot that actually gives you the biological look of the melting pot, it's fucking Puerto Rico. And it's insane. Like, at a really early age, put into perspective how diverse we look as a human race. Because I still always thought of us as a human race. I always looked at it, because like when someone would try to say, what am I? Or like, let's say I'm filing an application, and you put other or whatever. Like I put other. There's times where the other's not there for some reason. So it's either are you white or are you Hispanic? So far, like I haven't put in where there was a part that said Hispanic. I put that, and the next part said, I guess, like what type. So I actually Caucasian Hispanic. And I'm like, okay, that sounds a little more appropriate for what I am, I guess. Because, like I've said before, I don't think people are black or white. Like the shades of color is not an appropriate way to really categorize humans here. Because like right now, with stuff going on in this world, it's like, really? Y'all basing it off of that? Y'all need to back the fuck up. This is because somebody pointed out, look, how about you go down the basics? It's women and children are what we're talking about. Once they said that, I'm like, aha. See, that's the key. People are paying attention. These individuals over here are paying attention because there's women and children that are involved. Like, you're seeing the effects of certain things to these women and children, and then these men staying behind to do things to protect the situation and whatnot, you know, however the case may be. And right then and there, somebody else tried to put it the other way where it was like a race thing, and it's like, no, it's not. If it really was, then why y'all ain't talking about the places that actually have problems with an individual that might look like yourself? You ain't said nothing yet. I'm sorry. Like, you sound pretty hypocritical, and also you sound like you're just trying to change things up to, I guess, paint a picture, if you will, in their own way, on top of a picture that already exists. You know what I mean? Like, here's the canvas, and it already has a picture. And it's like, here's somebody trying to come in with their paint and go over it and change it up to something they just feel like this is what it should be. And I feel like that's very disrespectful and disingenuous to human beings in general.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because right now, anybody could come up to you and say something bad or say something good. But it's like, what are their intent on it? Because everything has an intent. So, like, when someone says a joke, is there real intent to harm or to make someone feel bad with the joke? You know? Especially in a setting where there's comedians or whatever. That's their job, is to make a joke. 99.9% of the fucking comedians I've seen and I've heard and I've understood, nothing they're saying is with bad intent. It never has been. Like, they'll say a joke. It's to get a laugh. That is their job. That is their livelihood. Yes, some of it sounds like it's coming from experience. But if you're a person that also experienced that, that's when you're going to laugh a little more. Like when George Lopez was talking about how he was used to drink out of the fucking hose that was sitting outside. And then you off, like, when you squeeze the line. I laugh really hard to that because, I used to do that shit. So, yeah, I know about that shit. Nowadays, it's like, I know, like, when we were talking about jokes the other day, where I understood, like, my tone, I brought it down, and I just made it where only you and I could hear the joke. Because it was, like, an inappropriate joke, but because you know who I am, there was a little, oh my God, like, stop it. But it's like, that's the one thing too, like, there's certain times where I understand that you have to understand the setting, you have to understand all the individuals, and then those individuals have to understand you. You have to have that mutual like,
balance each other
balance
outside.
To then, this joke is cool, this one I can not worry about that one, I can throw this joke, and you'll know, like, a real comedian would know which ones to throw out in the setting that they're in. Like, that's how I am. So it's like, once somebody knows me and I know them, and I start testing that kind of water with this joke or that joke. So far, I've been very fortunate to not have anybody dislike any of my jokes. I've always had little giggles and shit like that, so I'm good. So I know that I'm in the right mind, I'm in the right setting. I do pretty good. So I've been able to swim and go with the flow of that water wherever I'm at. So I've been very fortunate that way. Like, fuck, man. I tell you what, there's been people that throw out jokes where, first off, the way they sound, so tone of voice, the way they delivered it, I mean, it's just horrible to hear certain people try. Oh, it's harsh. Like that one guy that I told you finally it took forever for him to get fired. that person said some things, and they were trying to claim that that was a joke. And I'm like, no, not a joke. Not at all.
There's some things where it's just like, you don't...
Like, you know how it is when a person will say something and every single person is silent right after? That's pretty bad. And yet you're still there having this mindset that you think you're alright, that was a joke, and then you can say more later. Like, I don't know where that person was getting at. Like, is that how oblivious this person was to that shit?
And I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Are
you know.
we on the right page? We on the right page?
That Josh guy. From my old job.
Okay, I was making sure, because it's just like, I know there was another one, too.
Fuck, dude. But then you got those people that just throw that shit out there in a way that just catches you
throw his
and
name
you
out there?
die laughing. I don't give a shit.
Oh, okay.
I don't give a shit about that person.
Okay,
I really
period.
don't.
He's like exposed.
I doubt that person will fucking ever see my shit anyways, but they know who they are. I mean, it's not like I'm lying.
If the shoe fits, wear it.
I ain't lying. That's the fucking point.
Right.
And I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm just saying that it was fucked up.
Experience, right? Because there's some people like who just, hey yo, you like, For the most part, it's just like it depends on who you are, type thing. Where I'll hit you with the, hey, listen, man, I'm coming respectfully. This ain't it.
Right. Because I'm open to almost any joke. It's just the idea of like the setting,
how you're saying it, how you know
how you're saying it, the tone, you know, because the delivery and everything. That's why I said jokes don't. There aren't necessarily made for text, especially the way some individuals say, "Oh, they're gonna cancel that person or whatever the fuck," because it was off of some text. I'm like, because a text can be interpreted in so many ways because.
Right.
Most people are reading it with their own voice or their own intent to read it, so it doesn't come off right, you know. Right. So there's that.
And that's why there's always the importance of context.
Yeah, everything's got context.
You gotta have
which
context.
That's why I've been pissed with a lot of motherfuckers that'll go out there and take shit out of context and then plaster all over the internet and try to make someone look bad when they're not a bad person. You know what I mean? Like, here's a person that's a genuine good person. A genuine person that'll go up to anybody and shake their hand and give them a hug and have time to speak or whatever. And they're just very genuinely a good, down-to-earth person. And then someone goes and finds clips and shit of this person saying, let's say, a thing or a word. And then that's the only part you get. That's you took it completely out of context. Like, anybody that's anyone truly understands, without contents, you do not understand what's up. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you say a word in a sentence or in a structure of, let's say, a paragraph worth of stuff. Like, let's say you said a paragraph worth of stuff, but they take one word out of it and then judge you on that instead of actually acknowledging that this little mini story you said may involve that word, but it's like that word is one of this many that needs to be absorbed to understand. You know, because one word alone does not have the power of the many it takes to spread a story, to explain a thing, to give details about something. You know what I mean? It takes more than one word. One word alone isn't the only fucking, you know what I mean? And I feel so like there's so many people that are so disingenuous to want to make someone look bad. Like, that's it. That's all they do. You don't like that person so much. Why? It's like there's certain people that just, the level of hate is ridiculous. Like I... Except for Josh. I don't hate anyone like that bad. I really don't. Like, have you ever had a feeling where you almost hate someone? Because I don't think of you as a person that will hate. You might have a disdain for a thing maybe someone did. But because they did that one thing doesn't necessarily mean you hate them.
Okay, So here's the thing about me. Let me
Okay.
educate you a little more about me.
Bring
I've
it.
had my moments where I did hate people. There was times where I did wish ill will on people. There was times where like I was in a really dark state personally, where I was reflecting it out onto others, and others were reflecting it out to me.
Which
and over time,
some of it's not like not warranted, I'm sure. You know
which
what I mean?
over time, that's when I started learning. I'm like, you know what? Let me be careful. Let me take a step back and really look at what I'm doing here and what's happening to me. Then after a while, that's when I started learning and growing, and I started praying over God, and I'm like, hey yo God, I need to talk to you about this. And he's like, hey yo, what's up? And I'm like, listen, I'm in a dark place right now, and I know you my homie, right? Lead me in the right direction with this, because it's just like, you know, if you think about it, like God's a father figure, so it's like if I need a father figure, he's right there, so I talk to him. God's everywhere, you feel me?
Right.
So it's just like
I see
I
what
just be
you're saying.
talking to him. So I'll be like, hey yo, I need to be led in the right direction right now. And then like I'll take a step back, I'll calm myself, I'll check in with myself, and be like, okay, what's going on here? This person was saying this for what? This person was doing this for what?
Yeah, because at that point you're just trying to shed light upon the darkness that's before you.
Right.
And once you shed light, once there's light, you understand.
Mm-hmm.
And once you understand a little bit more, you can then take the next necessary steps to for the betterment of the situation and yourself.
And myself, yes.
Right.
Because there's a lot of times where I'm like, I'm gonna have to put me first. I need to put me first.
Which in some cases somebody's, oh, that's selfish. No, it's not. That's not selfish.
It's protecting yourself. It's learning. It's growing.
I mean, there is protected, but in many cases, it's like if you don't have yourself in check, how do you think you're going to go out there and be in check in the world? You know, it's like, let's be honest. It's like if you don't love yourself, if you don't want to take care of yourself, if you want to, there's all these self things, right? And then you expect yourself to go out there in the world and do things, interact with people, work in working environment.
A lot of people would say, David, you're so straightforward. And I'm like, I know, because I've been there, done that. Because I've checked in with myself a lot. And I've checked in and I've seen things with others. So it's just like, if you're showing similarities, be like, okay, this is a scenario. Let me read you. Let me learn you. Let me, like, you know, get to know you. And there's times where it's just like, I'll look at some people and be like, okay, just because of this type of posture, the way you're carrying yourself, the attitude, the tone of voice, this and that. In general, I could feel like you're gonna fit like this. And then when I get to talk to them, boom. All right, cool.
That's what you're saying.
For the most part. It's like, it kind of gives that impression, and after a while, like, okay, I feel like I could break you down. Learn you as a person. So it's like, that's why a lot of times where I'm just like, it's also one of those red flag things too. It's like, if you see them red flags.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think I've seen red flags before, but my approach to just anyone really, I've been this way where, like when I was, especially during the explanation of the respect, I feel like one human being to another human being, there is a level right here in the middle of respect.
Much you get. Right.
Okay? And then that person, the way they are, the way they talk, their actions, their ideas and all that, obviously would be all these contributing factors to if it decreases from there or increases from there. And that's how it is. Like, I allow that person's ability to tell me their little story here to determine if that's a person I choose to continue on speaking with or not, or whatever.
Right.
So it's like, I never, like, the whole, like, how you said, don't judge a book by its cover. Like, I never do. I never do. Because I've had times where I look at a person and you could think something, but then through conversation, it's a whole nother thing. Like, an image doesn't necessarily go with what that person is. Like, for example, how there's individuals who just think someone covered with tats is automatically like some kind of bad person. I've met so many fucking people that have so many tats, the motorcycle, whatever the case, and they're way better than any person I've ever met in a religion setting. They're not two-faced. They're straightforward. They tell the truth. They tell it like it is. They build trust. They try not to stray away from trying to like make you seem like they're trolling, etc. Right? Opposed to some of the individuals I met in a political, or I should say, there are some political ones, but in a religious setting, everybody's so two-faced. And then there's those ones that blow smoke up your ass and stuff like that. And then there's the ones that like you see them in the light here, but they are the darkest person out there.
Right. And that's
it's like,
another reason why I left church, because I'm like, I can't do this. I can't be in this environment. This environment is not healthy. There's a difference between. Oh yeah, I seen this one thing on Facebook. I think there was a difference between religion and relationship.
Okay.
I have a relationship with God.
Right.
It just so happens to be under the category of that religion. But it's like I have a relationship with God. I have a relationship with Jesus. But I'm not part of these churches. No. There's people who are like, oh, you need to find the right church. I'm like, no. In general, I just need to work on my relationship and include the people that I would like to include.
Yeah, I mean, because you know how I feel. I never cared about the idea of church because I feel like that's a human constructed thing.
Because a lot of the time
it
was like a control thing. Because it's like, okay, because Crystal brought out this point too one time when we're sitting at home and we're chilling playing dominoes, and my mom set up this thing where her two friends that came over. So like we're chilling, and then they ended up talking about church, and then the one lady, in a way, I was just like, I see your side, but that's why I stay away from it. And then Crystal brought up the thing where she was like, oh yeah, I haven't been to church, and blah, 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 because it's really hard to find a good church. And then another thing is like, why a lot of times like these churches like to read the same 5 books of the Bible, and that's it. The same 5 books of the Bible, okay, God created
Well, that's
earth,
first and
Jesus died,
foremost.
They call that a day.
That has been the thing, is that they'll stand up there and they only want to speak and read upon and discuss upon the portions they want to. Because that's their church. And they only want to express and have their understanding of that portion.
So it's like, that's another reason why I was like, yeah, I definitely feel where Crystal's coming from. Because it's like, it's hard to find those churches where you could be in for like the long run and really learn different things, right? And that's where me and Crystal, like, we both fell off from churches. Even Gabi fell off
But
from
an actual
churches.
real learning.
Right, actual learning, sitting down as a group, that's why a lot of times at home, like, we low-key fight with the parents, because we'd be like, y'all wanted us to be in church, so we're going to hold you accountable for your relationship with God, too. So we're going to do this as a family. There was times where I was the maddest one. I was probably the maddest one. Okay, from what I've seen, I was the maddest one. I would sit there and be like, no, we're going to pray. Because if we're going to pray, you wanted to stick me in church? All right, so I'm going to stick you in my home church. Like, I would go off. Because it's just like, no, they
I mean, that almost sounded like a portion of resentment for the idea that if you will do this to me, but no.
Right.
You're going to do it,
You're going to do it, too.
Tick
like, we in this together.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
So that's how I am as an individual. Like, you want this to happen? We're going to do this, too.
Right.
We in this together. That's why, like, even yesterday, for an example, Maria saw something and she low-key got traumatized by it. She's like, bitch! And then she's like, I just saw this shit on Twitter. And I was like, I really want to mind my business, but I can't leave you down. So you're going to send me the video, right? You know? So it's just like, if you're going to be traumatized, I'm traumatized with you. And when I watched it, I was leaning against the fridge. And I was like, and it was like, and we were just talking about it, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Wow.
And she was like, yeah, and then when I was looking at the 4th video, I was like, I feel like you liked the 4th one. I'm like, okay, let me keep scrolling. Which actually, I deleted Twitter, right? Because some stuff that I don't really like to talk about. So I'm like, you know what, let me start fresh, start on a blank canvas. So I'm going to wait those 30 to 60 days for it to reset for that username. And then go ahead and use the same username where I'm going to keep my slate, right? So I was like, okay, so I deleted that. So
This is
like,
all
damn.
about the correct image that you
Right.
want, so you need the right title
Right.
name that, yeah.
Right. So it's just like, okay, I gotta make a new account now, but I use my other account, like my little, just for shits and giggles, put everything
Something
on
like
my
that,
junk shit. So it's like, I
Okay.
used that to make a little account for Twitter so I could see what the fuck it was, because it was age restricted. So I was like, fuck, I needed an account. So I'm like, okay, great. So I made that account, and I was looking at the videos. That's when I screamed at that first one. And then I was looking at the second one. It wasn't as bad as the first. The third one leveled off. I'm like, okay, the third one's not bad. I look at the fourth, and I'm like, I see what you're saying here, Maria, of why I would like that. But anyways, don't expose me out here in the streets.
I tell you what, there are times I've noticed where, like, remember how I was talking about how my mom is? Like, there's times she don't want to worry and stuff like that. But I've noticed, like, some of that is kind of in me where it's like, there's many times I don't want someone to worry about me because it's like, I don't want to drag you down into that. I guess that's how the kind of person I am.
Okay.
So, for example, like, let's say there is something going kind of downhill, right? I'll keep that to myself. Because, first off, like, let's say you're over here on a high note. I shouldn't be trying to bring you down to this low note.
Yeah.
That's not how, the kind of person I am. Because I feel like, first off, that's a disrespect to you.
Most
like, here
definitely.
you are on this high note, and I'm going to bring you to this low note?
Right.
Who am I to fucking do that to you? You know? Granted, there are those occasions that someone could look at it and, well, you just want somebody to be there with you and for you or something like that. And I'm like, I can understand that. But I don't, because it's like, or I mean, I don't want that because I don't feel like I need that as a support, because that's not how I'm built, I guess is how I can say that. I look more of like, unless you see something and you decide to want to join me and give me a hand or give me a hug or whatever the case may be, right? That's on you.
Exactly.
I'm not going to imply anything. I'm not going to bring it to your attention. It's just like, if you happen to catch it and you happen to see something, then that's up to you if you want to do nothing at all, which I won't be mad at you. I won't. Like, let's say you do see something, but you back off, you're like, that's...
Yeah, that ain't my business.
That
I
ain't my
touching
business.
That. It ain't gonna be on my plate.
I'm one of those people, I'm like, I'm totally cool with that. Because I don't see it as, oh, he don't care about me or whatever.
It's
You know,
like,
because
no, it's just
right
like
away somebody will go, oh,
respectfully.
that. Right there, respectfully is like, I'm on a high and that'll bring me down.
Right.
And you're not approaching me to drag me in. So that means you leaving me be, so I'm going to leave you be. That's pretty much like how that is.
That's why I feel like me and
And that's how I am, because I don't want to have somebody dragged into my shit.
That's another reason why I feel like we roll so well too. Like us three, me, you, and Maria.
Oh, Maria.
The way
She
we
needed her to
roll,
fuck
because
that.
it's just like that's how we roll. We know what's good for us, and we've been through the lows and we've been through some highs. So it's just like we know what it is, and we know when it's like, you know what, respectfully.
But also, we're coming in so many different angles, because it is that y'all been on some lows, but that's your lows of your journeys. While I've been in some lows, but that's different lows. So we're coming from different angles on it.
Lows, and then we
So
come
when we come together, we can like,
solve.
yo,
we got something
wait
going
a minute,
on here. We
you
got
know,
something
yeah.
flowing, right?
We can actually come up with good solutions. Because that's the other thing that, opposed to a lot of people I've met, like, there's somebody that'll sit there and bitch, right? But that's all they do. There is no fucking thought process into creating a solution to the things you're bitching about. You know what I mean? Like, bring up some solutions. Not only for the situation, but also for yourself. Like, what are you going to do for you to not allow this thing? Like, if it's something that's not in your control, that's an example. Then what are you going to do for you to solve this where it doesn't affect you in a negative way? Where you can actually be chill and you won't be stressed and all that? Because there are times it starts with you first anyways, depending on what it is. Then if it is something that you may be able to have some influence, then bring up some damn solutions to whatever this problem is. And I feel like we are those type of people where we've been in areas where we're down here, okay? So how we gonna get to this next step? We think about just one step.
Right.
Yeah, we see that one thing way over there. We kind of do. We would like to get to there, but you have to be one step at a time.
One step at a time.
And we do that. Like, we try to figure things out. And like, wait a minute. Okay, so this right here, I see it. Okay. So how about this? And then I could come in this way, and then boom, middle ground. We just move forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of people that don't do that. For some fucking reason, they're more than willing to, which sometimes, I'm not saying this is what it is. I think sometimes they're so comfortable in the state of a bitching, but they don't necessarily want things to change.
Yeah, I've noticed that with a lot of people, and I'm like,
you know what I mean?
You know what? I'm gonna back off.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna leave you be. Because I'm over here. I'm trying to really level up.
Right.
If you want to stay there, sure. I'll give you a helping hand here and there. But if it's like, if you're not gonna change, you know, if you're not gonna put in that effort,
at least the effort. There's some that don't make effort.
Respectfully, I'm gonna be on my way. You know, I lent a hand when I was able to. Call it a day.
Well, what time is it? Man, my ass needed to go to bed.
Forward.
Well, this was nice. Everything looked like it was coming out pretty good. Let me double check again. So I'm gonna run this over here.
I was supposed to eat cereal. We got lots of conversation.
You would go, what? Eat cereal? Oh, there he is. There he is. There he is. Way over there. There he is. But that looks good, right? That's not too much of a delay. That looks about the same delay I was doing before. Now that I think about it. So let me look at this. Let's see how much delay here. That's a little quicker. See? So it looks like there's definitely a pretty decent delay on oh, okay. So we're gonna leave it at that note with the anyways. Thanks for Thomas for joining and asking some questions and stuff like that. So I would thank that person. And obviously, if that person wants to come over to YouTube and give me a share and stuff on the video or whatever. Anyways.
Arigato.
So everybody out there, I need to say later. I'm going to do that. Oh, check it out. This is what I'll do. Ready? Boom.